So I love that you guys are getting to see all different sides of me while we're recording this. Things are going to change because I've recorded this over a period of time. But nevertheless, I want to share a story with you. So I remember when I first started my business, no one believed in what I was doing. Like literally no one believed in what I was doing. And that was okay because I did. I believed. I had a vision. I could have seen the future, but my family and friends were certainly confused and certainly thought it was a hobby and I'd be over it in no time. But for me, I knew I was building my brand and I knew that I was being consistent because I was working towards what was my bigger picture. So in that, there were many moments and still are so many moments where I'm petrified of what I'm doing and what I'm building. I can share, for me, speaking in person is always super scary, right? But I do it anyway. Sometimes when I get out of the practice, right? We spoke about practice in our last video. The practice of going live and I have to start back, I'm super nervous. Sometimes, when I decide to batch a lot of content and I'm not on camera or I haven't shown myself on stories, like, listen, anytime I stop and I get back into it, it's always super scary for me to start again. Even when I'm creating a course sometimes, I'm like, man, like I forgot how I usually structure my stuff or how I usually script for an online course. Like every time you're doing something new, it is always going to be scary. And I felt that from the start, but I'm always reading and taking in content. And I know that if my dreams aren't big enough, then they just might not be worth dreaming, right? Like if your dreams don't scare you, then they are definitely not big enough. And I know you've heard that quote before. I can't remember who said it or where it came from, but listen, getting on camera is something that you have to get over the fear of. How do you get over that fear? Repetition is key. Now, here's the thing. I realized that as long as I'm consistent with what I'm doing, even though it feels scary, it just feels so good. And as I go along, it definitely always gets easier. But if I don't start and I'm overthinking all the things before starting, that's where, that resistance comes in. And I know that there's so much content out there right now. Like, don't do the things that you feel resistant to, but doing the things that you feel resistant to is what's going to get you where you would like to be specifically. So I just want to remind you of that. Now, as you go along with your momentum and you start building your strength in doing things that you are resistant to, that's when change truly happens. Let's take this video for example. So this series is also on YouTube as well as in our challenge. And if you have not joined our challenge just yet, it's definitely worthwhile. Let me tell you, for me, I'm so passionate about mindset. I've always been that girl that was reading self-help books, or when I was a kid, I was turning over a new leaf every summer to try to be a better version of myself. That's ingrained in me, totally ingrained in me. And so because it's ingrained in me, it's so natural to me. And it was so scary for me to start sharing this type of mindset content on the YouTube channel. But just knowing that mindset is what is keeping 95% of you guys back from actually getting on camera and changing your entire life. So I had to share it. It was scary at first, but when I started seeing your comments about how you feel about this type of content, even if it doesn't do well on my channel, it's touching the people that it's supposed to touch. And that's what means the most to me. So now I'm going to ask you, what is scary for you right now? What are you so fearful of doing right now that, you just, it's heavy, right? It's so scary for you to actually do it. I want you to write it down, or if you feel brave enough, I want you to write it in the comments because I want to understand you even better. Is it video content? Is it getting on camera and sharing your expertise and your knowledge? I want to know. I really, really want to know. I'll tell you something. Whatever it is, this thing is what's going to change the game for you. It is going to completely change the game for you. I promise. Whatever that thing is, it's what's going to change everything for you.